Trouble might find animals on land, in water, or even in the sky. And often they come to humans for help, showing a lot of trust. Watch this video until the end and you'll be amazed. These people found a bound and hidden turtle and immediately went into rescue mode, bringing it back to life.
No, he's just trying to lift. Okay.
Okay.
Off you go.
Go on.
Yeah,
Go on.
Good job. Oh.
To save this elephant, a whole excavator was involved. And here's a display of the elephant's gratitude. This fox cub got stuck in a wheel, and the vest had to work really hard to help it.
Speed.
Go on. God for that. You draw half.
This giraffe got into trouble, but fortunately it ended well.
He's alive. He's alive. He's going. We just saved him. Yes.
Many people enjoy feeding squirrels, and it looks adorable, but the stats are pretty upsetting. 75 to 80% of the young don't survive to the age of 1, dying of various causes. This baby squirrel is hopelessly tangled in some fishing line. It was just thrashing on the ground and calling for help when it was found by 2 guys. They took the baby to a hanger and set it free using a pair of scissors. This baby squirrel got so attached to the humans that it didn't want to leave when these guys tried to release it outdoors. At some point, it disappeared into the green foliage, but immediately came back, right into the pocket of its new friend. So these guys decided to take it home, where they constructed a hutch with a wheel and an obstacle course. They kept the baby squirrel until the following spring. Tadeusz Lubiasz from Poland was walking his dogs when he felt something fall down. It was a tiny squirrel the size of shoelace. Fearing that it might not survive, Lubiasz nursed it back to health, feeding it goat milk through a pipette. Now they are inseparable. This puppy got caught on an awning while he was home alone. He is loudly crying and really hoping to be saved when he sees a police officer. Grabbing the fabric is pretty difficult, but the man manages to cut the top and free the hostage, who immediately stands on his rear legs and hugs his rescuer.
Hey, Akela, привет!
This man noticed a hungry wolf and, without thinking twice, exited the car to feed it. And the wild animal is not afraid of the human. Look how closely it comes to retrieve the food. It has been proven that wolves possess a high level of intelligence. Wolves are capable of trust and even affection. See for yourself. After saying goodbye, the driver wants to carry on, but the wolf follows the car, blocking the way. There is no more lard, so the man tries to feed it some bread. Afterwards, the wolf keeps following the man for several minutes. Perhaps it's very hungry, or maybe it's expressing affection. In this footage, a man is releasing an octopus that got stuck in the sand during low tide. It has already recovered and it looks like it's ready to swim away. But look what happens. It thanks the human with an emphatic touch before moving off. How is that possible? The thing is, octopi are the most intelligent species among invertebrates. They have a good memory, can recognize geometrical shapes, and are susceptible to training. They can also recognize people and solve non-standard problems. This bear cub was caught in a bear trap. It is hurt and scared, but people are trying their best to free the cub. Finally, they succeed and the baby bear can run off in search of its mom. Looks like. Now you can see a whole rescue team coming to a cow's aid. Her head is stuck in a tree, but that is not her only problem. While she is immobilized, she is at risk of being attacked by the bulls. They are kept off with a powerful jet of water from a fire hose. In the meantime, the specialists are able to move the branches apart and free her neck. A leopard was searching for water in the parched desert state of Rajasthan, India. It was so thirsty, its head got stuck in a metal pot. That's the state it was in when people found it. Amazingly, the wild predator is not panicking or trying to run off. Instead, it is patiently waiting to be helped. Forest officials managed to remove the pot by temporarily tranquilizing the animal. This man is deftly climbing up a lamppost to save a pigeon that got caught on a streetlight. This story happened on the Sakhalin Island. 4 orcas got trapped in glaciers, 2 of them in almost entirely inaccessible spots. The ice tightens, wounding them, while they cry, begging for help. For rescuers, divers, and volunteers, the goal is to push the giant chunks of ice away with long poles. To prevent the orcas from getting ice burns, they are watered with seawater. At the same time, the animals keep periodically turning onto their backs and putting themselves at risk of choking. That's why the rescue team try to establish contact. They are speaking to the whales, cheering them on and keeping them calm. In this footage, you can see the wounded 6-meter animal obediently fulfilling people's requests. It doesn't show any aggression and allows people to do all the necessary things for it to be rescued. After the medical treatment, it quickly recovered and followed the others into sea. Diver Joshua Eccles was performing yet another dive in Florida when he encountered a lemon shark. It kept coming back and nudging him as if signaling something was wrong. Eccles examined the shark and noticed something protruding from its belly. It was a large, rusty fishing hook. It took 2 attempts to remove it. As for the wound, according to Eccles, it should heal up with no problems. And this huge whale shark is wrapped in a rope. The defenseless animal is waiting while the human is cutting the ties. Now the shark can leave. But where is the guarantee that it won't get into any more trouble? Particular raccoon was cat, risking his own hands in the process. The animal was saved and the man also was taken care of. Just imagine how scared this bobcat is after getting stuck in a trap. But the man didn't want to harm it. In fact, he was trying to help. In the end, the animal stops and looks back at him. What might that mean? And here's another similar case. Escaped a herd of angry orcas by jumping That's what the life of Hoover the tiger looked like. Needless to say, he was unhappy. But now his life looks very different, and it's all thanks to the kind people that saved him from a Peruvian circus and brought him to a rescue center in Florida. And this wolf was very aggressive, but as soon as the predator realizes it's not at risk, it just runs away. This baby deer lost its mom, and watch what it does when it sees a human.
Oh, hang on. Oh, I'm not your mom. Oh, you're hungry.
Unfortunately, they couldn't find its parent, but these people took the Bambi home and gave it a second chance at life. An excavator operator did a great job to free this little kangaroo. For a whole year, a deer visited this elderly woman who fed him bread. And here is a heartwarming rescue of a joey during brush fires in Australia. Someone tied this dog to a tree, leaving it without water or food. It is unknown how many days it spent in this situation before people heard its cries for help.
They're tied to a tree and it was a small. And I was thinking, why didn't he chew through it?
And here's another story with a happy ending. A rescue of a buffalo stuck in a swamp. Falling on your back is a big problem. How could someone resist to help? And this white shark accidentally beached itself after chasing seagulls near the shore. Thankfully, humans didn't leave it in trouble. A parrot called Blondie lost all of its feathers due to a rare condition, but to its owner, it is the most beautiful and the most lovable parrot. And this person rescued weasel babies after their mom got scared of a vehicle and ran away. People noticed a bear that climbed atop of a utility pole. They tried to rescue the animal, but the bear was lucky enough to come down on its own.
The bear survives the shock and the fall.
The native beak of this crow, called Don, was seriously damaged due to an injury. He got a second chance when people made him a new acrylic beak. This poor thing's wing was stuck in a blackberry bush, which caused it to almost drown. People took the owl to a sanctuary, and after a week and a half of rehabilitation, the bird is as good as new. And this hippo was completely unafraid to open his mouth to let the human brush his teeth. It looks like he might even like it. The most predatory animals appreciate kindness too, even if it's a venomous snake. And here, people are delivering cows from the mountain ridges to the comfortable alpine meadows. Photographer Martin LeMay captured some images of an unusual animal friendship where a weasel was riding on the back of a woodpecker. Just look at the way this baby squirrel eats a banana. This dolphin got stuck in the shallow riverbed 3 miles away from the nearest sea. It is on the brink of death, since dirty stagnant water is not a suitable habitat. You can hear the dolphin make a distinctive whistle in hopes of someone hearing it. Thankfully, a human is nearby and he rushes to the rescue. People resuscitate the injured animal using whatever they can find, and later it is returned to its native element. That's just one of many cases when animals asked humans for help. If you watch until the end, you'll see how smart, far-sighted, and trusting animals can be. That's what happened in the case with this koala that was found on the street looking exhausted and frightened. But as soon as it saw people, the koala ran over to hug their legs. People fed it a few mint leaves, gave it water, and later arranged a visit to see a doctor. There is no doubt that now they're best friends. Now this is a different koala, but it is also very friendly. It regularly visits these people. This koala even has its own water bowl. Before, it coyly sat in a tree without paying attention. However, on this hot day, it decided to freshen up in the pool. Take a look. At some point, it starts drinking straight from the human's hands. And later, it expresses gratitude in the most adorable way. Major trust towards humans is demonstrated by these dogs from San Diego. At first, it might look like they are just greeting the young men. But if you take a closer look, you'll notice that the dogs are inviting these guys to follow them.
There's a dog in there. Bro, we gotta save the dog.
They have a goal: the rescue of a friend in trouble. The dogs were right. These men were certainly not indifferent to the big issue at hand. This mommy dog asked the human to save her children from the rain, and even led the man to the puppy's location. She was very interested in the process of the rescue operation. She's seemingly very happy with the results. These puppies are safe and she can move on to parenting. Yes, that's really a husky at the top of an electricity pylon. It's asking for help by barking loudly. The weight of a fully grown husky averages about 20 kilos, and the human has to act very carefully in order to not fall down with this cargo. A similar situation happened in Montana when a mountain lion climbed onto a telephone pole. Biologists had to tranquilize the animal as it was unable to get down by itself. At one point, the drowsy lion slips off and falls down. But according to the specialists, everything was under control and the fall was a necessary measure. The animal was not injured. There are many cases when a human risks their life to save those who are more vulnerable. Among them is this spectacular incident with a seagull that got stuck on an electrical cable. Despite their natural fear of humans, animals tend to seek help from them when in trouble. Even birds do that. This is in Central Australia, and the ambient temperature has reached 45 degrees Celsius. This tiny rainbow bee-eater came to people hoping to hide from the heat. Then, people wet its feathers, leaving some water in a hole in the ground. When it was time to say goodbye, the grateful bird wouldn't even think about leaving the person's finger and was really reluctant to step over to a branch. They are definitely emotional and empathetic. In this video, a hungry bear takes food from the passengers of a car. After the feast, it thanks the kind people by standing on its back legs. But the way the next story plays out is even more astounding. A baby elephant has fallen into a ditch and is being rescued by an excavator machine. The bucket is used to push the dirt into the empty space so that the baby can step up. When it finally manages to climb out, it joins the herd. The happy cries confirm their understanding of the situation. And now something completely unbelievable happens. The grown-up elephants are saluting humans in gratitude. Just look at it. Numerous scientific experiments have shown that elephants are emotional beings. Elephants are known to comfort other elephants in distress. They stand beside them, touching them with trunks and making soft sounds. We have just witnessed that they are capable of profound gratitude towards humans. Just like land dwellers, the sea inhabitants are also not safe from trouble. This pufferfish caught the eye of the diver Shanger Danger because of its unnaturally large head and strange behavior. Turns out it swallowed a fishing hook, and the fishing weight was holding it down under the reef. At first, the diver tries to extract the hook from its mouth cavity, risking his finger, but the hook is still stuck. So next, Shanger decides to untie the fishing line, and in a few minutes he succeeds. Finally, it's free. The fish spends some time swimming around its saviors as if to say, "Thank you for saving my life." Forest fires that happened in Australia in 2019 to 2020 are said to be the most destructive in the written history. They caused terrible danger to the Australian wildlife. Thousands of livestock animals and millions of wild animals were killed and injured. Many people made an effort to help the affected animals. For example, this woman is washing a kangaroo's burned hands. The little animal is not trying to escape and even allows the human to stroke it. And if it could, it would probably hug the woman in response. Feeling thirsty, this wild monkey not only fearlessly approached a human, but casually went into his backpack. It looks like a new friendship was formed that day. To help this raccoon, a whole rescue team has assembled. Freeing its head from a drain was really not easy, but they succeeded and it is free once again. The white blotch approaching the shore is a pair of swans. They got tangled with one another and they understand that without the human's help, they are doomed. So when they spot the passers-by, they swim right towards them. The swans' wings and necks are in a disarray and require a lot of effort and precision in order to not cause any damage. But now these proud birds can spread their wings. And now you see a deer that also needs help. It's stranded on a frozen lake in Pennsylvania. It looks like it went too far, slipped, and could no longer get up. A hunter couldn't stand to see it suffer. He tried to save the animal by using a rope. Once the rope is attached, he towed the deer to the shore. This baby sloth's name is Guanabana, and in this footage he is doing fine. However, not long ago, this baby was in huge danger. After low tide, he got stuck between two rocks, and he could have died during the next tide. The baby sloth was crying loudly and calling for help. His cries for help were heard by a man named Dirk. He rescued the animal, drove him home, and later took him to an animal rescue center. This desperate incident happened in the Indian town of Karwar, where a king cobra showed up on the outskirts. This snake is from the Elapidae family and is the longest venomous snake on the planet. When it gets into a human body, the venom paralyzes the muscles, causing contractions and eventual paralysis of the respiratory system. Only 7 milliliters of this venom can kill a person in 15 minutes. The cobra is patient but very aggressive. At the same time, it's as afraid of people as people are of it. So, what made this cobra come to humans? At the time, India was going through a drought. People realized that the snake is not planning to attack, it needs help. They called the zoologists that determined its poor state and measured the length, 3.65 meters. And, pay attention, they let the snake drink right from the bottle. After that, they took it to the woods and it was safely released. Not once did it display any aggression. This wild elephant was in so much pain it went right up to the wildlife doctors to get help. How the animal knew they would help is a mystery. Doctors hit the elephant named Pretty Boy with a tranquilizer dart. And when he was down, removed the bullet stuck in its head that, luckily, didn't penetrate the skull. Grateful to get the bullet out and some pain relief, Pretty Boy then took a nap on a tree. This dog hasn't eaten anything in 5 days and was hiding behind the dumpsters, and when people finally managed to get the dog, they saw it was covered in thousands of mites. This chain was broken. It appears that the dog ran away from the owners who let it get this bad. Kind women brought the dog to a clinic where it took several hours to remove the parasites. The dog also had an injection that would help get rid of mites. Afterwards, this good girl was taken home where the battle continued. The authors of the video named the dog Jessie, and they hope that she has a long and happy life ahead of her. And now check out another case. This nursing mother is in doubt. Should she ask for help from the humans? But after some time, she decides she can trust them. She led the people to her hungry pups who had no chance of survival without their help. Initially, the mother was acting protective over her babies, so the rescuers distracted her with food. The puppies were finally saved. and now they all have a new home. Squirrels are In China, cat sterilization levels are very low, which often causes people to abandon kittens. These people saw someone throw away a litter of kittens into a river. Hearing a cat crying for help, they rushed over to look for the source of the sound and found the only kitten that managed to survive. People brought the exhausted and hungry baby cat home and named him Peach. And this old man risked everything to save his beloved cat from their burning home. This story has a happy ending, though. The authorities found housing for the pensioner, and they both settled in their new home. There is no life without water. When they are thirsty, animals seek help from humans, breaking down all stereotypes, even if the animal in question is a venomous snake or a tiny baby bird. Just look at the way this carp asks a person for food, and it's not afraid to take the food straight from their hands. And this little homeless kitten loudly cried for help. When he was heard by humans, it was given a second. It looks like even the crow is struggling to believe what just happened. And this crowd gathered here to rescue a baby elephant. It fell into a culvert when it was crossing the road with its mom. The calf was calling for help until it was discovered. And now the whole village is trying to pull the elephant out. And just so you can understand the severity of this situation, an excavator was involved. But the most striking thing about it is how calm the calf is, trusting its saviors. And this brown bear got in big trouble, having fallen into a well. People heard its pleas for help and lowered a ladder. Just watch how masterly it makes its way up to the top. It's no surprise that the scientists concluded that bears' mental capabilities are much higher than that of other animals, and sometimes their behavior resembles human behavior. And this is a retired bricklayer and his best friend, a penguin. 10 years ago, the man found it fully covered in oil and nursed it back to health. After this rescue, the penguin returns to its friend's house every year and stays in the backyard while the other penguins of its species are mating.
Oh my God!
And this sea turtle almost fell prey to a tiger shark when it saw a fishing boat and desperately tried to get closer to it. The turtle understands there's its salvation. And it was right. The fisherman waited for the shark to loosen its grip, just long enough for them to make. And this abandoned yet friendly puppy met some kind people. There were kind people that donated thousands of dollars to make a beak prosthetic for this bird. This baby deer is hopelessly stuck in the mud, and it appears the situation is dire. But then, suddenly, a human comes to its aid. Now pay attention to the way the worker operates the excavator with pinpoint accuracy. It seems this guy and his excavator appear anywhere an animal needs to be rescued from a sticky situation.
Run, baby, run!
And in this video, you'll see how an excavator was used to rescue a bear. These aren't the only cases where people come to an animal's aid, and there are even times when animals come to humans for help. This This is exactly what happened when a shark got tangled up in a fishing net. The shark came so close to a boat with humans that it was obviously looking for someone to help it. The shark even waited patiently for the humans to free it. Once the rope was removed, the shark starts to swim away and wags its tail at the humans as if saying thanks.
Bye bye. Wow, happy there. Wow, happy there.
This shark, with a 12-inch knife in its head, sought help from a diving instructor. Take a look. The shark turns around and positions itself right in front of the instructor, asking for help. The irony of the situation is that this nurse shark was wounded by a human. There was no other way it could have just got injured with a knife. Thankfully, the diver managed to extract the blade from the shark's head. He even got to see it again and learn that the shark is fully recovered. Perhaps it came back to the same spot to thank its savior. Let's not forget that water can be a dangerous environment for non-aquatic animals too. The tiny dot you see approaching the boat is a squirrel. It's trying to escape its predators, sea eagles, crows, and seagulls. And just like the shark, this squirrel is seeking help from humans. Notice how it's desperately trying to get into the boat, almost as if it knows that people will do no harm. Wet but adorable nonetheless, this creature is showing no resistance when the fisherman picks it up. The squirrel even waves goodbye with its tail, we can only assume as a thank you. Alpha predators approach humans for help sometimes as well, like this wolf with a gaping wound on its head. Normally, it would avoid humans, but now, lonely, weak, and hungry, it cannot hunt for food. Wolves can sense their prey almost 2 miles away due to their advanced sense of smell, and this wolf detected the smell of a freshly baked bun in a woman's pocket. The sheer determination the wolf is displaying as it leaves the woods and approaches the woman, this account is as inspiring as it is shocking. The wolf takes the food from a human, carefully and repeatedly, making sure not to hurt their unexpected ally. There's no way that's a coincidence. It draws us a picture of the animal's thought process. Observation: the human is not acting in an aggressive way, followed by a conclusion: I can trust the human. And even a risk assessment: I would rather avoid contact, but I have no choice but to seek help. The ability to assess the situation in such a manner shows that the wolves have the potential to think rationally. It might not be what we expected from a wolf, but a recent experiment conducted by Austrian scholars proved that wolves are, in fact, more observant and savvy than domesticated dogs. And how about this sperm whale? It is clearly signaling to a diver that it needs help, and is more than accommodating while the human is trying to remove the fishing hook stuck in the whale's mouth. Look at this striking footage. It turns out, in case of emergency, even animals want to visit a dentist, and they can say, just as well as people. That's yet another proof that animals are not only intelligent, they also have the ability to empathize. Once the sperm whale is set free, it's in no rush to leave. In fact, it's so keen to express its gratitude to the diver as he strokes the whale like a puppy. Watch this sea resident make its way towards a diver as if they are best buddies. You can almost hear the turtle saying, "Hey dude, I have a shell stuck in my back. Do me a favor and remove it, eh?" And the human is only happy to oblige. Communication is key, and let's not forget about gratitude. The way the turtle tilts its head, that's definitely how they say thanks in turtle. Sometimes the trust has to be earned. The author of this video interacted with the fox for over a year by feeding it. However, one day the fox refused to eat. Instead, it grabbed the food and signaled the human to follow it. The fox clearly has a plan. Notice the way it keeps stopping to check if the human is still walking along. And what do we find at the final destination? Turns out this fox had recently become a mom and brought the human to meet the babies. Leading the person to the living quarters was a genius move. Now the fox can stay to protect the young, and the human can deliver the food right to them. This fox, however, is much more independent. It is clearly not planning to ask for help. Instead, the fox is trying to get to these fishermen's food supply. Amazingly, it doesn't run away when the owner of the bag appears. It just waits patiently, and check this out. The fox is not only helping itself to the food, It is taking it right from the human's hand. Such behavior can be explained by the fact that hunting for mice is more difficult when the ground is frozen. This beautiful beast must be very hungry. In the previous clip, we saw a fox eating quality meat, yet this one is happy to munch on a sausage. Who knows? Maybe it's now the fox's favorite dish. Waiter, I'll have what they're having. Sometimes fishermen catch something much bigger than fish. These 3 bear cubs were crossing the river and unfortunately got separated from their mom and started drowning. Humans to the rescue! All that's left to do for the mama bear is to pick up her cubs where the fishermen left them. The sea eagle approached humans because it was too sick to fly. Initially, it felt so unwell, it wouldn't even accept fish offered by the human. Fortunately, the situation soon improved. The bird's appetite came back, and the eagle even lets the human stroke its head. This did not happen overnight, of course. The full recovery took a whole month, and every step of the way the human took care of the bird, even though it wasn't entirely safe. Did you know that a sea eagle's beak can penetrate a bulletproof vest? Not to mention the talons. The guy in this video has to wrap his hand to avoid injury. Mind you, his back did not have enough protection, and this will definitely leave a mark. The claws are released automatically when a sea eagle lands on any surface, whether it's a tree branch or a hand of its savior. But make no mistake, the bird is not using the beak or claws to deliberately hurt the human. This sea eagle is most certainly grateful to its friend. People often risk their well-being to help animals, and not just birds of prey. This video, where humans save dogs from drowning in an icy river, is yet another proof that people are selfless and eager to protect fellow living beings. These animals have no one else to rely on. Just listen to this cry for help. Thankfully, asking humans for help paid off, and the dog is safe and sound.
Hang in there, buddy!
This dog also refused to give in to its dire circumstances. It cried for help for many hours before it was heard. But after being in cold water for so long, the dog couldn't move its legs and struggled to breathe due to hypothermia. Thankfully, this story has a happy ending. After recovering, the dog was given a new name, new home, and new friends. Although one thing remained the same, Charlie's kind heart and aptitude for empathy. Every time he sees his saviors, he cannot hold back his joy. How touching is that? And we are sure the helpful humans are just as happy to see Charlie. Sometimes the animals are too weak to ask for help. Fortunately, humans are happy to come to their aid without being prompted. This kitten lost its mom and nearly died from starvation. Thankfully, humans noticed a young kitten that was eating grass out of severe hunger and took it in. It came as a total surprise when the kitten grew up and turned out to be a protected species of wildcat. This cat definitely knows who saved it and expresses gratitude every time it is fed by licking the hands of the man who became his new mom. And how about this goat whose horns got caught in electric cables? The footage is simply heartbreaking. Clinging onto a ladder, the goat knows its life depends on it. The rescue team free the goat, and yet it sticks around, looking back at its saviors again and again, as if to say thanks. More importantly, we need to remember that only a few of these issues are caused by nature itself. In most cases, when the animals are in danger, it's due to human activity. Every year, over 100,000 aquatic animals and 1 million aquatic birds die as a result of consuming plastic. The least we can do is try to put our waste where it belongs, in the garbage cans. Be kind to animals, and they will return the favor. Did you enjoy this video? Give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and you know what else.